بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله. Dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. So we have another session of Nahj al-Balagha, and our discussion was on letter 31st of Nahj al-Balagha. And we started since a few sessions earlier to have a thematic discourse and discussion on the letter. So picking a theme and look and see what advices, what instructions Imam alayhi salam provides on that topic in his letter, or sometime in other sermons or other hadiths that we have from Ali alayhi salam and from his family. So the topic today is about social relationship, the principles that we need to maintain, those important boundaries, those important rules that we should be mindful of them when attempting to make social interactions with other people. Looking at the letter, I categorized the advices of Imam on about the social interaction to several categories. One is about family. The second one is about friendship, which is the main topic. Imam talks a lot about this matter. And also we have a discussion about social interaction with the people who work for us, employees, for example. And finally, some general advices about the social interaction that Imam alayhi salam provides in this letter. Let us start with the first category about family, which is also the primary focus when it comes to social interaction. When you look to Quran, the matter of Salatul Rahim, a matter of taking care of relatives of one's family comes as priority. Imam alayhi salam has two advices about taking care of one's family. So the family is the smallest circle in social circles around us. It's the smallest but the most fundamental circle of social interaction. Imam alayhi salam says, وَأَكْرِمْ عَشِيرَتَكَ فَإِنَّهُمْ جَنَاحُكَ الَّذِي بِهِ تَطِيرُ وَأَصْلُكَ الَّذِي إِلَيْهِ تَصِيرُ وَيَدُكَ الَّتِي بِهَا تَسُولُ. Imam alayhi salam says, honor your family, honor your tribe, your relatives, your immediate family, the others around you, your kinship, because they are the wings with which you fly. جَنَاحُكَ الَّذِي بِهِ تَطِيرُ. They are the origin towards which you return. وَأَصْلُكَ الَّذِي إِلَيْهِ تَصِيرُ. And they are your hands with which you attack. You protect yourself. وَيَدُكَ الَّتِي بِهَا تَسُولُ. In other words, your family are the ones who stand at the last line protecting you. When everything goes wrong, when everyone turns their back to you, the ones who remain with you and would be faithful to you and would be protecting you are no ones but your family at the end. So Imam says, honor them, because your success your protection, your life depends on them in a way or another. They are the ones who give you power. They are the ones who protect you, who support you. So be appreciative by honoring them. In a different part of the letter, Imam alayhi salam, when he talks about the necessity of maintaining our brothers and sisters in faith rights, he also talks about, so he mentions, he emphasizes, make sure that the fact that you are close to someone does not let you to neglect your responsibilities towards them. Just because they are your close friends, just because they are your relatives, just because they are your children, your family, does not mean that we can relax our responsibilities about them. So Imam alayhi salam mentions, وَلَا يَكُنْ أَهْلُكَ أَشْقَى الْخَلْقِ بِكَ. Don't act in a way, don't behave in a way that your family are the ones who are most hurted, or are the ones suffering the most from your behavior. So in many cases, unfortunately, that's we see that when we go outside, when we are interacting in a workspace, when we are interacting outside of our family, we are more vigilant of our behaviors out of fear of legal responsibilities, out of fear of the reactions that we may receive from the people that if we mistreat them. But then when it comes to our family, sometimes we feel powerful, we feel safe. They are not going to turn me in to police, for example, if I'm mistreating them. Imam says that's the wrong direction. Just because they are close to you, just because they are the people who will not hurt you, does not mean that you can neglect your responsibilities. You can insult them, you can raise your voice over them, you can ignore their needs. Just because they are my family, they have no choice but to live with me, doesn't mean that I have the right to neglect what the right expectations that those expectations that I have to fulfill. So this is what Imam alayhi salam mentions about family. Honor them and make sure that you are committed to fulfilling their needs, your responsibilities towards them, because they are close to you. They should be the most dearest one. You treat them the best, not to be the worst people that you treat them. The next category goes to friends. How to make friends, how to choose them, the importance of making friends, who to avoid befriending them. What are some of the responsibilities and rights that we must be mindful of them in our friendship? These are very important topics that Imam touches on, some necessities, some important points in friendship in his letter. So here's, let us start with what Imam mentions about the necessity of having friends. We have in many narrations that we have in different hadiths that the ones who are lonely are not the ones who have not much people around them, who live in a, for example, rural area, not many people live there. The lonely people are the ones who fail to make friendship, who can't make friends wherever they go. And Imam alayhi salam in his letter also emphasizes on this. وَالْغَرِيبُ مَنْ لَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُ حَبِيبٌ. A stranger is the one who does not have friends. No matter how many years I live somewhere, if I don't have friends, no matter how many years I worked in a certain institutions, if I don't have trusted and close friends, I'm still a stranger there. So Imam alayhi salam says, if you want to not be a stranger, make sure you have your network of friends around you wherever you go. However, be careful in choosing your friends and companions. That's the other topic that Imam Ali approaches in his letter. So he mentions, for example, سل عن الرفيق قبل الطريق وعن الجار قبل الدار. Before taking on a trip, on a journey, first investigate your companions, who are the ones who are going to accompany you in your trip, your journey. Especially at that time, for example, when people, they were going to pilgrimage, to Hajj, they were going to a trade journey. They were going as a caravan, so in a group of people. They were spending times for months together. So Ali alayhi salam says, more than thinking about the facilities of your trip, where you are going to stay, how much you are going to spend, so on and so forth, first investigate and ask, who are your companions in this journey? That matters the most. That companions would make your whole trip like a hell for you, no matter how much you spend on it. And then Imam continues, سل عن الرفيق قبل الطريق وعن الجار قبل الدار. And similarly, when you go to take housing somewhere, more than being concerned about that house, that apartment, having all the requirements, all the new facilities, so on and so forth, be concerned about who are your neighbors. Be concerned about your neighborhood. A good house, a new built apartment in a bad neighborhood does not value and does not worth living your life there. So that's the caution that Imam alayhi salam mentions first. So first investigate about your friends, your companions. And he mentions that when you are looking for friends, look for the ones who are not just your friends in front of you, in your presence. They are your friends when they are absent of you, when you are not around anymore. They are the ones, if someone talks behind your back, they are the ones who defend you. Whenever they go, they talk positive of you. وَالصَّدِيقُ مَنْ صَدَقَ غَيْبُهُ. True friends in someone that his friendship would last also when you are not around, when he's not in your presence. So look for someone whose friendship is sincere and honest. And in the same line, Imam warns us, be careful. وَمَنْ لَمْ يُبَالِكَ فَهُوَ عَدُوُّكَ. But someone who claims to be your friend, but does not care for you, when something happens to you, your difficulties, he ignores you easily. Not only he is not your friend, but he is your enemy. Why? Because even strangers, when they see someone in trouble, they try to help. But someone who claimed to be my friend, but when I'm in difficulty and he is able to help, he just does not care, turns his back to me. It means that he has some type of grudge against me. He doesn't care about me. So he even may be more happy if something bad happens to me. So Imam Ali says he's even your enemy, not your friend. And friendship is not defined by how distant someone lives from me. وَرُبَّ بَعِيدٍ أَقْرَبُ مِنْ قَرِيبٍ وَقَرِيبٍ أَبْعَدُ مِنْ بَعِيدٍ. Sometimes there are people who live close to us, just the next door, but they are the ones who, in fact, and in reality, they have the longest distance from us. There's no attachment there, no friendship, no love. We don't care for each other. But sometimes, وَرُبَّ بَعِيدٍ أَقْرَبُ مِنْ قَرِيبٍ, someone who lives far away, but the connection is so close that as if he is closer to us than anyone else who lives around us. رُبَّ بَعِيدٍ أَقْرَبُ مِنْ قَرِيبٍ وَقَرِيبٍ أَبْعَدُ مِنْ بَعِيدٍ. So again, Imam Ali says when it comes to the friendship, what we can understand from this advice, what matters is this connection, this feeling, this care, this love, not how many times we see each other per day, how far we live from each other. It's how close we feel to each other and how ready and prepared we are to help one another when needed. So if I'm going to pick my friends, who should I go for first? Imam Ali says, قارن أهل الخير تكن منهم. If you want to pick friends, try to pick them from the pious people, righteous people, good doers, people of good, because that helps you and pushes you gradually to be one of them. You also become someone like them by interacting with them, by getting impacted from their good behavior. And similarly, if you want to not be considered among the evildoers, make sure that you maintain your distance from them. Do not enter their circle. Because as human being, and that's the importance, one of the most important matters in social interactions, that we are getting influenced, even unintentionally, by the social circles around us. So the social circle we pick to join it would determine at the end who we are, would shape our response, our personality, our identity. So Imam Ali says, if you are going to pick people to interact with them in society, pick them from the good doers, the righteous people, pious people, so you become one of them as well. Here Imam alayhi salam provides some instructions. He gives us warnings about the ones to avoid taking them as friends. Not every person is someone whom I can add to my circle, my friendship circle. Let us see some of the advices that Imam alayhi salam mentions in his letter about the ones that Imam alayhi salam instructs us to avoid befriending them. He says, وَلَا خَيْرَ فِي مُعِينٍ مَهِينٍ. There is no good in a low and ignoble helper, someone who does not honor himself, someone who is low, someone who does not care about his actions. So there are two ways of reading this expression, لا خير في معين مهين or muhin, but if we read it mahin, so the low people, it goes in line with some other instructions that we have from Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. For example, we have Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salam, we have this hadith in Khisal for Sheikh al-Saduq, and Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salam says, من لم يبال ما قال وما قيل فيه, whoever do not care about what he says and what people say about him, فهو شرك شيطان, is the companion of a Satan. ومن لم يبال أن يراه الناس مسيئا فهو شرك شيطان. And similarly, whoever does not care about people seeing him committing sins, someone who does not have the modesty, does not care about it, فهو شرك شيطان, he is a companion of a Satan again. So putting it together, and also we have a similar advice from Ali alayhi salam in a sermon called al-Wasilah, which Ali alayhi salam delivered it a week after the Prophet, peace be upon him, passed away. And Ali alayhi salam says in that sermon as well, وَمَنْ خَالَطَ الْأَنْذَالَ حُقِّرَ, whoever interact with the low people, the others will look down upon him as well. He would be humiliated. So Imam alayhi salam says here that make sure if you have someone to help you, he is someone honorable, someone respected, someone with modesty, someone who is not low. Because if he is low, he doesn't care what he does, he will take you down with him as well. Encourages you to do something that you normally would not do it. If we read the phrase instead of mahin, we read it muhin. وَلَا خَيْرَ فِي مُعِينٍ muhin, which is one of the variations in this letter. Muhin means someone who humiliates others, someone who belittles others, someone who looks down upon others. So the meaning would be that Imam alayhi salam says, do not take a helper, do not accept a hand to help of someone who looks down upon you, who humiliates you, who does not respect you. We have in another expression in the same letter that Imam alayhi salam says, وَلَا تَرْغَبَنَّ فِي مَنْ زَهِدَ عَنْكَ. Do not be interested in someone who is not interested in you in return. Because if he is not interested in you, you just try to get close to him, he just turns you down, belittling you, humiliating you, and that's not something that you should expose yourself to it. We have a narration from Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, which is mentioned in Kashf al-Ghummah. Imam alayhi salam says, "Man akramaka fa akrimhu." If someone honors you, honor him. Wa man istakhaffa bik. But if someone humiliates you, looks down upon you, Imam doesn't say you act in the same way and you do the same wrong action. But he says, فَأَكْرِمْ نَفْسَكَ عَنْهِ. Honor yourself from getting connected to him. Someone who does not value you, honor yourself by distancing yourself from him. So that's a very important point, very important advice, that we should not expose ourselves to a situation that we get humiliated, we get disrespected. We should value our honor. Imam Ali says, befriend someone who values you, who respects your honor, who appreciates you. And then the other advice about the people who Imam alayhi salam instruct us to avoid befriending them. He says, وَلَا فِي صَدِيقٍ ذَنِينٍ. So dhanin means, so there are two ways, again, two meanings, but one of the meaning is that a suspicious friend, someone whom people do not trust him, someone who people have doubt about his sincerity, someone who is known as not reliable. Imam Ali says, do not befriend someone whom people do not trust him. Do not expose yourself to friendship with someone who may betray you later on. The other way of reading is dhanin is the one who he accuses others. He is suspicious of others. Someone who easily loses trust in others. Again, it makes sense that Imam Ali is saying that do not befriend someone who would be fast in judging you, who would be fast in accusing you, in doubting you. Find someone, to put it in a nutshell, find someone trustworthy so that your friendship would be a lasting one. In 10 years, 20 years, you can trust him. You can rely on him. And that's very important. So to make sure, if we want to tighten a relationship with someone, to make it stronger, to make sure first that he is the trusted one, that we can rely on him for a lasting friendship. The second advice, the other advice about the people to avoid, this is the last one on this category that I collected, is Imam alayhi salam suggests that to sever your connection with ignorant people. وَقَطِيعَةُ الْجَاهِلِ تَعْدِلُ صِلَةَ الْعَاقِلِ. And to sever your connection with an ignorant person is like to get connected to a reasonable and wise person. Has similar benefits. If getting connected to a wise person means that you would benefit from his knowledge, from his rationality, from his wisdom and insight, to distance ourselves from ignorant people is to keep ourselves safe from unwise consultations, from those actions that an ignorant person would do to help us, but it would end up hurting us even further. So it's not only a matter of being trustworthy, is not only a matter of loving one another, it is also, when it comes to picking friends, to pick the ones who are wise, insightful, and their friendship would improve us and not bringing us down. These are very beautiful advices. I'm just touching on them and just trying to mention briefly what Imam Ali salam instructs here. However, every single instruction can be further elaborated. There are many beautiful benefits, many beautiful insights that can be explained through these instructions. So the other category, so first we talked about why it is important to have a network of good friends. Then we talked about how to be careful in choosing friends and companions. And we mentioned Imam's advices about the people whom one must avoid befriending them. The next topic comes about rights and responsibilities in friendship. If we build friendship with a true friend, if we found people worthy of our friendship, if we made strong connection with someone, there are rights and responsibilities that Imam alayhi salam highlights that we should maintain, that we should respect. First of all, Imam says, if you build friendship with someone who is dear to you, who is close to you, your trusted friend, your close friend, do not then attempt to befriend his enemies. ولا تتخذن عدو صديقك صديقا فتعادي صديقك. Because when you take the enemy of your friends as your friends, you are also taking part in the enmity against your friend. So if he is truly your friend, you care for him, and you know there are people, we are talking about true friend, talking about the righteous, pious people whom their enemies usually are not good people as well. So Imam says, do not make friendship with them, because by doing this, you hurt your friend. And you also join the circle of his enemies. So respect your friend, respect your friendship, and stay away from the people that you know that they hurt your true friend. And then Imam alayhi salam continues, do not neglect your friends' rights just because they are your friends. What we discussed before about the family applies here as well. ولا تضيعن حق أخيك اتكالا على ما بينك وبينه. Do not neglect, do not ignore the rights of your brothers, your sisters, just because you are close to one another. Do not let yourself to relax the boundaries, to be ignorant, to not care about these responsibilities out of claiming that he is my friend. It doesn't matter. Imam Ali says, because فَإِنَّهُ لَيْسَ لَكَ بِأَخٍ مَنْ أَضَعْتَ حَقَّهُ. Because the one who you neglect his rights, the one who you violate his rights, is not your friend anymore, your brother anymore. You are breaking that brotherhood. You are breaking that friendship, but by not respecting the expectations and responsibilities that you have as a friend. So, for example, if someone is my close friend, doesn't mean that I can promise him and then just ignore my promises. It doesn't mean that I can disrespect him. I can raise my voice over him. I can violate his privacy. Sometimes in the name of friendship, we give ourselves the right to look into someone's privacy, to violate someone's privacy, whom we regard him as friend. Imam says, when you do that, you are not a friend anymore. You are breaking and violating that relationship. The other beautiful advice is, which is also again about caring about our friends, about our brothers and sisters in faith, whom we have in our circle of friendship, is to be honest with them when it comes to giving them an advice. وَمْحَضْ أَخَاكَ النَّصِيحَةَ حَسَنَةً كَانَتْ أَوْ قَبِيحَةً. If someone is your friend, if someone trusts you, asks you for advice, be honest. Whether your advice, he may like it or dislike it, be honest and give him your sincere opinion. Do not betray his trust. Sometimes, unfortunately, that's the case. We, out of the concern that he may doesn't like it, and so my friendship would be shattered, or maybe he would be annoyed with my opinion. We conceal what we see is the right thing to do, what we see is the right advice. We give our friend the wrong direction that may please him. So Imam Ali says, if you are truly someone's friend, be honest with him. Give your true opinion, whether he like it or he dislike it. That's the true meaning of friendship. Caring for him the same way that you care for yourself. And then Imam alayhi salam insists in what comes, and what I will discuss it, insists that if you find someone worthy of your friendship, if you find a true friend who can be trusted, the true friend, pious friend, that good friend, that who help you improve yourself, do not let him go out of your hand over some conflicts, over some misunderstanding. Do your best, whatever you can, to keep and maintain that friendship. So Imam alayhi salam says, وَلَا يَكُونَنَّ أَخُوكَ عَلَى مُقَاطَعَتِكَ أَقْوَى مِنْكَ عَلَى صِلَتِهِ. Don't let your friend to be stronger on severing his ties with you than you maintaining that ties, those ties and connections. You must be stronger than him. If he tries to sever those ties, you must be stronger in keeping together those ties and not let that happen. وَلَا يَكُونَنَّ عَلَى الْإِسَاءَةِ أَقْوَى مِنْكَ عَلَى الْإِحْسَانِ. And do not let your friend to be stronger in insulting you than you doing good deeds to him instead. So in other words, if he made a mistake, if he insulted you, if he got angry and did the wrong action, you must not react in the same way. Try to maintain your friendship by acting properly. If he did wrong, you do the right thing. You be respectful. You be nice to him. You be kind to him, to remind him of the importance of your friendship. So, in other words, do not let those mistakes to determine the end of your friendship. Take it in your own control. If you have someone who is worthy of your friendship, do whatever you can to keep him. It is the same point that Imam elaborates further, to the point that he says, be like a servant to your true friend. Imam alayhi salam says, احمل نفسك من أخيك عند صرمه على الصلة. Compel yourself when your brother in faith severs ties with you. Compel yourself to reconnect. وعند سدوده على اللطف والمراقبة. And when he turns away, compel yourself to be gentle and speak kindly with him. You do the right thing, even if he made a mistake. Don't let that to determine your friendship. وعند جموده على البذل, and compel yourself when he is tight-fisted to give generously to him, to be generous. وعند تباعده على الذنوب, and compel yourself to be, when he distances himself from you, to draw near to him. You act the opposite way. He tries to distance himself. You try your best to get closer to him. وعند شدته على اللين, and when he is harsh, compel yourself to be gentle with him. وعند جرمه على العذر, and when he is wrong, compel yourself to excuse him, to forgive him. حتى كأنك له عبد وكأنه ذو نعمة عليك. So to the extent that if, like you are his servant and he is your Lord, the Prophet says, if you found such a precious, valuable friend, do not let anything to take him away from you, even if it was his mistake. You do the right thing to keep him. However, as I assume that it may occur to you as well, to act in this way, to, as Imam says, to be like a servant to our friend, is not something that we can follow in treating everyone. Not everyone is worthy of it. And Imam alayhi salam warns at the end of this phrase about this matter. وَإِيَّاكَ أَن تَدَعَ ذَلِكَ فِي غَيْرِ مَوْضِعِهِ أَن تَفْعَلَهُ بِغَيْرِ أَهْلِهِ. But beware, however, of doing this to the in the wrong circumstances, or to those who are unworthy of it. So, in other words, if you act this way to someone who does not worth it, to someone who would take advantage of it, that would backfire. Imam talks here about someone who is a true friend, a righteous, a good friend, a trustworthy friend. These are like treasures. Keeping them, no matter what, is important. However, not everyone is like this. Such a person, such a good friend, when you respond to his mistake with gentle attitude, gentle behavior, with kindness, with tolerance, he would be reminded. He would be aware. He become aware. He will be aware of his mistake and return back to you. He does not use and take advantage of your humbleness, of your kindness, to ruin you, to belittle you. Because if he does that, he's not that true friend, and he does not worth your kind and gentle attitude, the way that Imam alayhi salam mentioned, being like a servant to him. So it's a very important point that Imam alayhi salam adds here. So bottom line, if you found those unique and trusted and those pious, righteous people, that you can take them as your friends for life, do whatever you can to protect and maintain that friendship. And by this, Imam means if he make mistake, if your friend make a mistake, do not respond a mistake with another mistake, ruining your friendship. But respond to his mistake with the right action, with the mercy, with the gentle attitude. Remind yourself of the good memories that you had together, of the helps, advices, insights that he gave you so far in your life, and make yourself tolerant if he made mistake, and try to maintain that relationship. Here, Imam alayhi salam gives further advices when it comes to maintaining friendship with others. There are some hints, some advices to benefit beside those rights and responsibilities. These are very beautiful ones, very insightful ones. For example,
I'm sorry to interrupt you. We are on the prayer time. So if you want to maybe just summarize in 1 or 2 minutes, and then we can continue next session, inshallah.
Inshallah. Thank you so much for reminding. So Imam alayhi salam here mentions some advices about how to maintain our friendship properly, what to be mindful of it in our friendship, and then he discusses some instructions about how to interact with our employees, people that work for us, and general advices about treating other people in the community in broader sense, which inshallah I will discuss it later. So what we discussed so far was about those, when it comes to the matter of the friendship, the importance of it, how to be careful in picking our friends, who to avoid making friendship with them, and also to be aware of the rights and responsibilities of the true friends that we find. And Imam alayhi salam advises of how to make ourselves committed to maintaining those helpful and beneficial friendship, inshallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give all of us the blessing to benefit from the treasure that Imam alayhi salam provides us in his letter and his other sermons and advices, and to benefit from the Ahlul Bayt, peace be upon him. Please recite a salawat.